Hi, if you're looking for a washing machine, then it can be really confusing because there are so many to choose from on the market. Now, what I've done is I've come up with 11 things to consider before buying a washing machine rather than just looking at price. So that's a hint to one of them. So rather than looking at price all the time, these are 11 things to consider before buying a washing machine, because there are some things that you might use with a washing machine that could be very useful that you might be missing out on. So let's have a look. So number one on the list, and probably one of the most important things to consider, is the drum size. So this is the capacity, so it's the amount of washing that you can actually get within the washing machine. You'd actually be surprised how much you can get in, especially on quite a few of the larger load machines. Generally capacities start around 6 kilograms. Quite a few manufacturers are phasing out the smaller loads, but they go all the way up to 12-13 kilograms. For normal, say domestic machines, then popular load sizes are around 8 or 9 kilograms. Even the 7 kilograms are not as popular now. So that's really something to consider, because if you're just a single person in a house, then you might not need a 10 or 11 kilogram load. Whereas if you have got a large family, if you've got 4, 5, 6 people in the household, then try and look at something a bit bigger. Something with a larger capacity. The main advantage is it could cut down the number of washes that you're actually doing. Now, number 2 on the list would be the spin speed of the machine, and this is the RPM, or revs per minute, that the machine can spin up to. So the majority of machines tend to be around 1200 or 1400 RPM, and as you go to a higher spin speed, then it in theory can extract more water out than say 1000 spin. What you'll find is, again, if you're doing a lot of washing things like jeans or towels that hold a lot of water, then try and go for a higher spin speed. We'd normally recommend around a 1400 because they can extract a lot more water out. What you'll also find, if you go for a higher spin, then when you get more water out, if you're using a tumble dryer, then by getting a lot more water out, then your clothes are not having to spend as long in the dryer, which again can save you money. So number 3 on the list would be the dimensions of the machine. Now, on the whole, in the UK, washing machines tend to be around 60 centimetres wide, 85 centimetres high, or just under. That tends to be a fairly standard dimension for a normal domestic machine. Now, the depth of the machine, they all vary. And it's something that I always say to our customers: have you measured, or have you got someone to help measure for you? Because some people, if they're elderly, they might not be able to say take the machine out, or they might not be able to measure the space, so just get someone to give them a hand. But have a measure of the space you've got, don't measure the existing machine. But what you'll find is that, this is a 9 kilogram, this is a Bosch machine, and the depth on this one is around 62 centimetres actually, if you include everything at the back. So it's quite a deep machine because this is a 9 kilogram machine. As you go to some of the smaller loads, say a 7 kilogram, we do some that are actually under 50 centimetres deep, so it does make a big difference. So just have a measure. There's nothing worse than having your appliance arrive, you take the transit bolts out, then you go to push it back and then you realise it doesn't fit, or if you've got a drawer next to the washing machine that you can't open because it's too deep. That's really, really frustrating. So just have a measure beforehand. Now, number 4 on the list would be quick programs. And people have got very busy lives nowadays. As you can see, this is a fairly standard cotton program on this Bosch appliance, and that's 2.5 hours, which for some people would be okay. If you're a very busy family and if you need a wash doing very quickly, then it might not be that suitable. So what quite a few manufacturers do is to put quick programs on, and on this Bosch, for example, it has a speed option, and that will reduce that program time down to an hour. And it's something that is very important nowadays. The main thing to consider is that by reducing the time of the program, a couple of things. The first thing is that you might not necessarily be able to wash a full load, so you wouldn't be able to wash a full 9 kilogram load in an hour in this Bosch machine. Also, the washing performance won't be quite as good. So if you're expecting it to wash as good in an hour compared to 2.5 hours, then you'd be wrong. And on quite a few of these appliances, they have something called fast full load. And what you can do here is you can actually wash a full load of clothes in around 28 minutes. It's something that is becoming fairly standard on these Blomberg appliances. Also, you can see here it's got something called Mini 14, so you can do a very small load, normally around 1 or 2 kilograms, in around 14 minutes. And it's something that we do get asked a lot about, quick programs, so have a look out to see which quick programs are available for you. Number 5 on the list would be the energy efficiency of the machine. There's nothing worse than spending your hard-earned money on buying a washing machine, then realising that it uses a lot of water or electricity. So before you buy the machine, just have a look at these. So these would be the energy labels. Depending on when you're watching the video, it will depend on which energy label that you see, because we're just going through a transition phase at the moment. But on the energy label, I won't go through it all, but all it does is it shows you the energy consumption, so the amount of electricity it uses, and the water consumption. And it's a good comparison between different machines, so you can tell which one uses less water or less electricity. And sometimes you can find that by spending a little bit more, you might be able to get an appliance that's a lot more energy efficient. Now, number 6 on the list would be the noise level. There's nothing worse than buying a washing machine, then realising that it's really noisy. Either for yourself, so if you live in, say, a house where noise is important to you, if you've got a washing machine downstairs, and if you've got young children sleeping upstairs, then clearly you don't want it to be very noisy. Also, if you live in say a flat or apartment where you've got say a wooden floor, then you don't want it to disturb your neighbours. So have a look, and again, this is on the energy label. I will just point this out. These are two similar price machines, and on here you've got 72 decibels in the spinning. On the energy label it will give you two figures, so you've got the washing and the spinning noise level. It's really relevant, I suppose, for the spinning because that's the noisiest one. So that's at 72 decibels, and on this alternative machine that's at 78 decibels. Now 6 decibels might not sound a lot, but every 3 decibels then it does get twice as loud. So even for these two machines, if noise is very important, then that's certainly worth considering. Now, number 7 on the list would be the display, or the time remaining indicator. This is something I do point out to a lot of people, and personally I think it's quite important, because there's nothing worse than selecting one of these programs and not knowing how long the program is going to take. It is becoming fairly standard on a lot of machines. You will find on some very basic or budget machines that's something that they've decided not to put on, but personally I'd recommend looking for a machine that's got an indicator to show you how long the program's going to take, because you will find that as you move around the dial, that as you can see on this machine, that will take around 2.5 hours compared to that program at the bottom. I know it's only a spin and drain, but with that one it's only taking 13 minutes. But without the display, then you'd have no idea how long these programs take. So number 8 on the list would be unique programs. Before you buy your washing machine, have a look at the programs that it offers, because there might be certain programs that you need before you buy the appliance. So this is a Siemens appliance, and on here this offers just quite a few unique programs. You've got things like SensorFresh, so this adds steam in towards the end of the wash. That can really help with the creasing of the clothes. Things like Drum Clean, this is becoming fairly standard. This just enables you to wash at a very high temperature to try and keep the machine clean. Things like Textile Guard, this is something that is becoming more popular now, especially if you've got something like a wax jacket that you needed to say re-wax it, then it's a specific program to enable you to do that. Other machines offer things like baby programs, where if you're washing things like baby clothes, or you've got curtain programs. So there's so many other things to look at rather than just the standard, say, cotton or easy care programs. So yeah, number 8 on the list would be the unique programs. Now number 9 on the list would be special features. There are quite a few other features that washing machines offer, which don't normally stand out a huge amount. On this machine, this one offers things like Wi-Fi. So what it enables you to do is to connect the machine to the internet, and it can give you usage details Also, if there's a fault with the machine, then it can tell you. It will send you an email or text message. So it's things like this that can make quite a difference. Also on this machine, just while I'm here, this uses something called IDOS. This is another feature which is a really good option, and what this enables you to do is to load the machine when you first get it. So you load it with your detergent and the softener, and rather than having to load it for every single wash, then you put it in here to start off with, and you fill it for around 20 washes, and it will actually take in the amount of detergent required, and it depends on how dirty the clothes are and the load sizes. So rather than you having to guess all the time, then the machine is intelligent enough to make this decision for you. So it's some of these things that are available on the market. So have a look for some of the special features that the manufacturers offer. Number 10 on the list would be the warranty on the machine. Now, you assume that most manufacturers would come with a 1 or a 2 year guarantee, but have a look out, because some manufacturers will offer promotional warranties. This is a Blomberg appliance that comes with a 3 year guarantee, and also some manufacturers will even offer a 5 year guarantee. This is certainly something worth looking at, because if you do have a fault with the machine, then it's nice to know that you should have the backup, so that the manufacturer will come and sort it out for you. Now, number 11, and the last thing on the list, is the price of the appliance. We know for a lot of people it's probably one of the most important things, but I've left the price in this list of things to the end, really because what you need to do is to have a look around at all the other things first. So really try and find a machine that suits your needs, rather than just initially looking at the price, just going for the cheapest all the time. Have a look at the load size of the machine, make sure the spin speed is correct, if there's any unique programs. If you wash your curtains a lot, then look for a machine that where you can wash your curtains, or sportswear, things like that. Look for the guarantee. Don't always go for one that's just, say, got a 1 year guarantee. Again, by spending a little bit extra, then you might be able to go for something that's got a 3 or even a 5 year guarantee. So I know price is important, and for a lot of people it will be the deciding factor, but try not to make it the ultimate decision. So I hope you enjoyed this video on the 11 things to consider before buying a washing machine. What I normally say is please click subscribe, leave any comments below on a YouTube video. I always have some comments, because things like this video, I'm sure there's things that I've missed, or something that you might be thinking at home, well, I'm not sure about this on a washing machine. So if you've got any questions on washing machines or any features, then leave it in the comments and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.